And welcome back to Quick Hands, episode 49. George, a little bit of a different configuration here tonight, man.
Yeah, nice and cozy.
We're missing Artie again.
Artie, where are you? I miss you.
Holidaying in Hawaii with the family. We can't wait to have you back, Artie. And I'm sitting in your chair tonight, mate. So keeping it warm for you until you get back. But how are you, George?
Yeah, good. Not bad, mate. Not bad. Busy week, but we're here, right?
Where's round 21?
It's in the can, Nicola. It's in the can. It's in the can.
We've got a lot to cover off tonight. We've got quite a bit. So what do you reckon?
Talking about Artie and his American tour for the pod to expose us in America. I spoke to him during the week and he's not having a good time at all.
Why?
Well, the session went with him, and he's the official driver for Artie, and he's getting him everywhere, like really late. He can never make a meeting there. The poor guy. Then you got Manolis opening up pop-up wherever he goes. He's opening up pop-up shops. He's having a terrible time. Poor Artie. He can't wait to get back. And then Manolis heard about Vangelis, his son, how we changed the name of the award. Not happy at all. Jam. When he gets back. So, you know what? Artie's got a lot to deal with when he gets back. But anyway, good luck, Artie. You got a lot to deal with when you get back,
One
mate.
more week, Artie. I bet you're having the time of your life. We want you back here.
I hope he has.
Should we jump into Controversy Corner?
Let's do it.
We'll jump into some of the hot topics of the week. We've got a few to cover off here. No particular order. Let's start with the Panthers. They've re-signed, or I believe they're about to re-sign Dylan Edwards and Liam Martin on big deals. Edwards could be upwards of $5 million for 5 years they're talking about.
Wow.
Or at least 950 a season. So, and I think he's worth every cent. I know he's not a rep player yet, but I think he's worth every cent. What are your thoughts on that?
You know what? Well, both of them, Martin as well, but Dylan, you do anything to keep him in the club. I don't care what you do.
He's just so valuable to that.
He's valuable to that system. He might not be a ball player, but just sheer hard work and what he means to Penrith, it's invaluable. You can't replace it. And the back rower, what's his name?
Liam Martin.
Been injured start of the year, but now in the back end of the year, we'll see his wares. He's outstanding.
We saw in Origin.
Yeah. So again, I don't know how all the pieces are going to fit in. I really don't, and I feel for the Panthers every year how they have to, shuffle the deck chairs. But these are two players that you can't get rid of.
The thing about Dylan Edwards, he's not really a highlight reel player, but everything he does, his communication, the way he organises the defence is second to none.
Okay, and I know where you heard that, and he is the best fullback in terms of defence. And you know what? It's something that us laymen or watching television we don't see, but just a simple case of counting numbers, you have no idea how important that is, because that's the whole deal for a halfback is to get one side 6 and the other side 4. That's what they work to. And if you got a fullback, a halfback, or a lock to navigate all the numbers, it's a big thing. And apparently, and I know you heard it from Gus.
Well, I heard it there, but I mean, it's common knowledge. Every fullback does it. Come third or fourth tackle,
he's the best one.
Come third or fourth tackle, they drop back behind the line and they organise the defence and they send players left, they send them right. It's one of the most important jobs of a fullback that a lot of people don't realise.
Underestimated skill.
How they communicate.
Underestimated skill.
And organise. And apparently Billy Slater was the best.
Apparently, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
Apparently Billy was the best. I think Billy was the best at a lot of things.
Yeah, easy to say. And it's funny because, talking about the Panthers, they're losing Spencer Leniu.
They are losing Spencer.
They're losing a few other players, but they've lost quite a few players over the past couple of seasons. But the train keeps rolling, doesn't it?
It's amazing, isn't it, out there? It's amazing. It's a very unique part of the world. And I told you off air, it's the only place in the world that has this quality of player coming through. Now, is it cultural? I don't know. Is it the area and the junior league? I don't know what it is, but they've been doing it for, I was going to say 5 years, a decade now.
Yeah, yeah.
To get to this stage.
Yeah.
A decade.
Your mate started all this with this 5
He
year
did.
plan.
No, he did. There's no
he
doubt.
planted the seed.
Yep.
Phil Gould.
There's no doubt
Pathways
about it.
Gould.
Pathways
PG.
Gould. Yeah,
That's
PG.
actually his initials anyway.
PG, is it?
Phil Gould.
Gould, yeah. PG did it, yes. So I give him credit there. I'm not sure about everything he says that he did, but he
definitely planted the seed.
He definitely put the workings in.
Where does this leave Jerome Luai now? So he'll probably have to take a hefty pay cut to remain, or I'm sure there'd be plenty of clubs interested if he goes open market. But there's two things. There's two question marks over him. A is how effective is he without Nathan beside him, and B, a nice way of the media saying it is he's a polarizing. He's a tool, right? And the clubs want. He's shot himself in the foot that many times. He's the kind of guy that the clubs want representing their brand. People are starting to think about that stuff now.
Okay, yeah. Look, in terms of Nathan, I think it's very important to be with him. But in saying that, I saw him with was it Tonga Samoa or what's his team? Samoa with Samoa, and he was outstanding. So I'm not sure about that, but he's definitely got to be married with the right half. He can't go to the Tigers for argument's sake, and them expecting him to pull them out.
He's not a struggling club player, is he?
No,
he's not the kind of guy who would turn a club around.
I don't think so.
I don't think his shoulders are that wide.
I don't think so. But in a good system, I think he's good. But you know what? I honestly believe that he's not going to go anywhere. He's been there for a long time. He's with his friends. Is he going to get $1 million at Panthers? No, he's not. But I'm hoping he'll get enough to keep him there.
If he, and this is all speculative, but if he had moved quicker and signed before some of these other guys, he would have got close to that at Penrith.
Maybe, yeah. Probably.
There've been some signings. Isaiah Yeo.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been 3 or 4 big, expensive signings over the past couple of months, and I've got a feeling Luai could be close to missing the boat.
Really,
he might have to take a hefty pay cut because, how many $900,000 players can you have? You know,
what have they got now? They got 2 or 3.
I'm not sure. I mean, Cleary's on 1.2.
So they've probably got 3 of them now, and I don't know how much you can. I don't know how much you can have. I know the actual. You know, the funny thing is, I saw how much the pack gets, the forwards.
Yeah,
and they're all around $400,000. So that's pretty good value.
Well, it's got to be balanced out.
It's got to be
balanced out. Phil Gould said something funny when he was asked, who would you sign from the Roosters if you had a chance? And he said the accountant.
I remember that too, yeah. As you would, yeah. Good old Chooks.
Georgia, we got to touch on the Bulldogs, mate.
Let's touch.
All right, let's touch on the Bulldogs. We'll start with club captain Raymond for Taylor Mariner. Being told that he's free to leave only months after making him the club captain. Now, apparently that's not true. His manager denied it. He said he hasn't been approached. Now, Phil Gould on his podcast today stated categorically it's not true.
Okay.
Not only have not only have we not told any player they're leaving, we've not told any player that they have an option to leave if they want to.
Okay.
So he categorically denied it. As did the player's manager, which makes me question where the story arose from. On 360 was where I heard it. It was in one of the papers, but they're the journos on 360, right?
Good old Buzz.
So,
sound like a Buzz
do you know anything about that? No. What's your opinion? Do you like him? Should he stay there? Are you happy with him?
You know what? Because he's been injured, I'm not sure about him. I do know that he's been in a losing culture for a long time, and I think he's a good player, and I think he's full of heart, and I think with the right people around him, he can, and he will be outstanding. I'm not sure how much he's on, but if they can make it,
me either.
Yeah, but if they can make it work, and there's troops coming next year, if they can make it work, I'd like to see him stay. But what what worries me about the Canterbury club, what they say and what they do is two completely different
Yeah.
things. Or what Gus says and what he does is two different things. So you know what, he might be on the chopping block. We don't know until things just sort
Yeah.
out, because Phil Gould is, as we all know, Phil Gould.
Feel good is feel good.
Yeah.
They're reportedly about to announce a few signings over the coming days.
Which is interesting.
So I've got the list here. So Seo Takiyoho,
Very good.
who's in the
best.
Super League.
Yep, very good. I'll watch him. Very good on.
They said it's $1 million deal. I presume that's 2 years, 500 a year.
Better be, because
Because he's 32, right?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be in one season.
he plays for Catalans.
I imagine it's 2 seasons.
He's doing well at Catalans.
Blake Taff from South. You've been a big supporter of his for a long time.
I'm a big fan of.
You must be happy.
Yeah, look, I'm a big fan of Taff. I like Taff. The good thing about Taff is he's a fullback. He's a 6. He's a 7.
Yeah,
He's a lock.
anywhere,
He's a 14.
Yeah.
He's a hooker. He
Played in the grand final too.
He's played a grand final. He's very good. I'm very surprised that he's leaving. I'm very surprised that he's leaving South Sydney. But I guess with Jack coming,
the cattle in front of him,
Jack coming as well. But he's very good. We see it every time he plays for South Sydney. He's very good. He's a very good young man.
Jamin Salmon from the Panthers.
Look, I'm not a fan, but
No?
I know what
The weak-gutted dog.
the weak-gutted dog. Where's Artie? The dog, as I call him. You know what? But I understand. He's solid. He's steady. He's not a highlight reels player, but you know what? He won't let you down, and he comes from a winning culture. So
He was good at Para before he went to Penrith, but
was he a hooker at Para?
well, he was a bit of a utility. He was 5'8" initially, but he seems to have moved on from both clubs for the same reason. He just cannot nail down a starting spot because both clubs are pretty strong in the halves.
Strong.
And I mean, he's a great utility.
Okay,
He really
cool.
is. He's I mean, he's not in the upper echelon of well, not yet, but he's a good, solid player.
He looks good in the Penrith system.
Yeah. Liam Knight, who you've signed mid-season, he might even be playing this week.
I like Liam Knight.
Yep.
He's a tough, no nonsense
I think he's the kind of player you
front
guys
row
need
back
right now.
rower.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know what? He won't let you down. So he's a player that, well, I've got no problem. He's not a highlight reel player, as you call him, but you know, he gets through his work, and he's physical, and you have to be. So look, I don't mind that one. Especially, I'm assuming what Gus got him for. I'm assuming Gus didn't pay big dollars for him, knowing Gus.
And Connor Watson's the latest one they're floating around.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I don't know where they'll put him, but isn't he a hooker?
I think he's a little bit of a utility as well, yeah.
Okay. Look, I like at his best, yes. He's injured at the moment, no?
I'm not sure.
He's the Roosters.
I'm not
he's
sure.
At the Roosters injured, yeah. Yeah, look, you know what? Bring him down. It's got to be better than we've got at the moment, because it's diabolical what's happening there at the moment, the Dogs.
What happened with Reid Marnie over the weekend?
Gee. Look, if you ask me, maybe the night before, maybe on the day, maybe the week, maybe on Wednesday, I don't know, but he was told he wasn't going to play. I'm very confident. He wasn't ready. When he went on the field, when he started playing, he wasn't physically or mentally ready.
Well, let's give a bit of context, because context is king, right? He started on the bench. Now, apparently he was ill. Coach said he was sick. I'm going off what Serraldo said in the post-match press conference. And he would have been. He wanted to sit him out, but Reid insisted on playing. Now, the thing for me is that Flanagan played hooker, and he's been playing well at hooker.
He's a better hooker than halfback, I reckon. Flanagan.
Yeah, he'll be a good hooker for the Dragons next year.
He will be a good backup hooker.
Now, the thing is, if you're unwell and you're playing, then someone's below their best, then you're going to put him in the position they're comfortable playing, right?
Yeah.
He played Reid Marnie at lock.
Strange.
He brought him off the bench.
Strange.
He played about 15, 20 minutes either side of half-time as a lock.
Yeah.
Ball playing lock. Completely out of position, unfamiliar with that role, missed more tackles.
Looked terrible.
He just didn't look... He's never played it before, George.
Looked terrible, yeah.
He's never played lock before.
You know what, Nicole? One thing I do know, you can't be a star one year, then next year not be a star. There's something going on.
But it's not even that. He was a star at the beginning of this year.
He was a
He started really, really well. So I don't know.
It's just frustrating.
And he's still, by the way, leading the NRL missed tackles
He
with
is, yeah.
91. That's a staggering number, right?
91. Nico, he's obviously frustrated. He's obviously, and look, he might have even carried an injury. We don't know, but he's obviously frustrated. He's obviously tired. Now I'm assuming he's playing this week, and what I've read, it's probably the best bulldog team.
You got to add in the fact that he'll have 6 or 7 players returning this week as well.
It's the best bulldog team we've had for a while. Look, I don't know, but it wasn't a good look. I feel for the kid.
One thing that stood out for me in Serrato's press conferences when he was asked about it, and he said, well, yeah, when it was time to bring him on, Flano was playing really well at hooker, so I decided to play him at lock, which tells me Flanagan was playing better than Reid. That to me, that doesn't make any sense.
Mixed messages.
It doesn't make any sense to me. Could it be, I mean, this kid has the potential to be the best hooker in the competition.
Yes.
And I've been convinced since he was at Parra, he'll be, aside from Harry Grant, the next Queensland hooker.
Yeah.
Could it be the fact that the captaincy is weighing down on him too much? He's not had that kind of responsibility until this year.
Good question, Nicola. That's a very good question.
I can't think of anything else.
I haven't thought of it. And yes, you might be right. You know what I mean? It's some people just can't handle it because they, you know what? They might worry about everything. They probably worry about the ball boy. They probably worry about every individual player. Maybe it's just too much for him.
Sometimes some captains focus on their teammates so much they forget to focus on themselves.
Absolutely.
But if that's whether or not that's the case, again, we don't know, obviously. But if that was the case, you have to persist with him because, any young captain, in a couple of years' time,
come out the other side.
I think so.
You know what?
He's too good not to.
I was going to say one thing we do know that when he settles down and the water's calm, we saw what did Parramatta. Not 1 year, not 2 years,
a few years, yeah,
a few years now.
Yeah.
So we know what his best was, and as you said at the start of the year, he was outstanding. So you know what? You just got look. It's a very hard year for the Bulldogs this year. Very hard year. I mean, we keep on getting beaten by 40 plus. So, I mean,
the last 5-6 weeks, the last few weeks, the defence has been pretty poor.
Pretty poor, very poor actually. It makes me feel sick in the stomach, but that's something to talk about game review.
I don't want you to feel sick, so let's move on. Let's talk about something that makes me sick.
What's that?
The RLPA, this thing. Funny that watching NRL 360 the other night, Gordon Tallis pointed out that it's now 20 months that this negotiation's been going on for.
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous. Chairman Vlandis came out and said that the CEO, Abdo, and Clint Newton, who represents the Players Union, you guys are too close to it, you're too emotional. How about you step aside? Abdo will step aside, Newton step aside, I'll get in the room with the big wigs and we'll get a deal sorted out in a day. Abdo stepped aside. Newton refused to.
Of course he refused to. You know what? At the start, I really wanted to believe, and I'm a union man in terms of I want the players to get as best deal as they can.
But George, to be fair, they've never had it better than what they have today.
And that's what I was going to go to. So, you know what? If you apparently want 100 things, or it's 100 points,
100 items on the list.
100 list. You're not going to get 100. That's what negotiation is, and this is, we're not talking now rugby league. We're talking a corporate structure. Yeah. So you go into a room and we have a chat. We might even have a debate. It's not personal. And you know what? You might get 50. You might get 70. And you walk out with, half your gold, 3/4 of your gold. Do you think you're going to get 100 out of 100? Not going to happen. It doesn't happen. And you've been in this world. You told me if you could ever get 100, I'm pretty sure you're going to say.
It's like any negotiation. Everyone shoots higher. Okay. You ask for 120, so you get 90.
Love it. So it's been going on for nearly 2 years. Okay, it's been going
20 months.
20 months. Wow.
And now they're threatening to boycott the Daily M's.
Well, that shows me that game plan 1 hasn't worked, so we're going to game plan 2.
Well, this is really harsh, but you know what I would do if I was the chairman, Volandis? And I'll tell you why. The method behind the madness. Without hesitation, I would have come out the next day. I would have. It's easy for me to say that, right? But anyway, in an ideal world, I'd come out the next day with a press conference and say, okay, I'm stating that for season 2023, the Daily M's are cancelled. So to all the players who are leading in the top 3, the top 5, sorry, fellas, you're going to miss out.
Yep.
And you know what that's going to do? That's going to turn the players against Clint Newton. And you can't get the shit back into the horse then because it's done.
Yeah.
No bluffs here. We don't take bluffs. We take action. Right?
Yeah. And you know what? I as we all know, I'm pretty confident in every club there might be two players, maybe 3 that are aware of Clint's plight.
Most of the players don't even know what they're negotiating about.
Yeah, I'm sure about that. You know what? If I didn't think it was Clint Newton trying to a power play, obtain power and he wants. So and one of the point is that he wants, or the commission to have the right of everything. So they control the money. They control. So they're employees.
Show me one.
Get it through your head.
Show me
you
one.
You guys are employees.
Show me one sport. Show me one professional sport where the lunatics run the asylum.
I don't know.
This is the state, not only of the sport, the game that we're talking about that we love. It's a reflection of the country and the times that we're living in.
Yeah, but yeah. Oh, look,
right.
It does my head, Nicole. It does my head. And you know what? You know why he doesn't want Volandis anywhere near the negotiating table? Because he's scared of Volandis. Because Volandis is a good negotiator.
Well, I mean, he's a corporate monster. What does Clint Newton know about anything?
No, nothing. I'm telling you now.
He was hitting the ball up a few years ago. What's he done? Well, he's done some degree.
He probably has.
Do you think that educates you?
No, he doesn't. He does and he doesn't. But that's what the issue is, that he's got it wrong.
Big time.
Newton has got it wrong. Okay, and the only losers in the long run are going to be the players
and the fans.
Well, and the fans, because you know what? At the moment, we're not hearing from the players after games. You know what? It hasn't really hit me. But if he keeps on going on. I mean,
again,
last week, Nicola, think of it this way. The NRLW started. Okay, we've got a soccer World Cup here.
Yeah.
Okay, what a great opportunity.
Talk about timing, right?
Yeah, what a great opportunity to promote the NRLW.
No, it's a great opportunity to promote the soccer.
We didn't hear. I didn't hear from none of the guys.
I'm a soccer fan, by the way. But how stupid are these people that were actually handing the baton over and saying, "Here, we're going to shut up. We're not going to do any media. You guys can have all the headlights."
Yeah, look.
All the spotlights, all the headlights, all the headlines.
You know what? Again,
there's just no thought behind it. And again, when I'm thinking about that press conference, it'd be a good idea if Volandis brought the broadcasters with him and said, "By the way,
they're hurting.
We're not paying you anymore either."
Yeah, they should do that.
We're not paying you anymore. You're not getting paid anymore.
They should do that
until everything goes back to normal. We own the game. We pay your wages. Yeah. You're going to hold out on us.
That's where I think somewhere along the line in Newton's brain, it's missed. He
must be getting advice
wrongly, because they are the employees.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? NRL is the employers.
Yeah.
And bring some demands, and you know what? Half of them are probably valid anyway.
You know what? The NRL is an employer, but it's a stakeholder. The shareholders are paying the wages.
Well, yeah, they are.
Shareholders being the broadcasting companies.
Yeah, they are.
Channel 9 and Foxtel.
So they should be
dominantly
annoyed.
Channel 9, right?
Yeah, they should be annoyed.
Yeah.
They should be annoyed.
Let's hope it gets sorted out, because everyone's sick of talking about it. Everyone's sick of hearing it.
I'm sick of it. Honestly,
and
Nicola,
the players don't even know what they're fighting for.
Yeah, every time, and it's covered now everywhere. You listen to SEN, that's what they talk about. 360, that's what they talk about. Any magazine show, that's what they talk about. I'm sick and tired of it.
Okay,
because there's no end of line here. It just continues going on, and we can all. And the funny thing is, he thinks we can't tell that he's trying to do a power play. That's what he thinks, that we're stupid enough that we can't tell. But guess what, Clint? We're not stupid. We know what you're doing, brother. We know what you're doing.
All you have to do in a situation like this is call the bluff.
Well, I'm sure
Call the
the
bluff.
ladies will.
and say, you know what, Daliums are cancelled for 23. That's it. And who's leading the Daliums? Who's Nathan Cleary? But no, he wouldn't be in the top 3 because he spent a lot of time out.
I think
Drinkwater, Payne Haas. Imagine how these guys are going to feel. It's my first shot at getting a Dalium. What? And you think they're going to turn around to Clint Newton and it's too late, mate. They're off. They can. That's it. We don't take bluffs and we don't take threats.
Yeah. Good. No, do it.
That's how I operate anyway.
Do it.
But,
Do it. Do it.
The Cronulla Sharkies, George, they're in a bit of free fall.
They're in trouble.
Now, as Artie pointed out to us a couple of weeks ago, they at that point hadn't beaten a top 8 team this year, and they still haven't. Now, they've lost Dale Finucane for the rest of the season, which is huge on the field at least. Yes. And Nico Hines just hasn't been the same player since Origin 1, has he? He was in such good form leading up to that. No. Has that mentally affected him?
I think so. As Artie would say, there's trouble in paradise. Number one. Number two, Nico thing, I called it. I said it.
Yeah, you did,
He hasn't been the same, and I was waiting for him to build up his confidence. He just hasn't been the same. Now, you can't be Dally in 1 year and produce what you're producing now.
But I also think you need to have a bit of steel about you. Like you need to be able to bounce back from stuff like that.
No, absolutely, and that's probably maturity. And Nico's a young, 26-year-old, I'd say. Yeah, a young 26-year-old. And I'm not going to go on about the Origin experience, but since that point,
it could be coincidental.
No, I don't think.
But his form has dipped since.
I don't think it is. And in terms of Cronulla, he reshuffled the deck chairs, Fitzgibbon, and it didn't work. They were terrible at the first.
They've got a terrible record against top 8 teams. They've had the easiest draw for 2 consecutive seasons, and they're going to have to, and somehow they're entrenched in the 8 still. But
mind boggles, how that happens.
Well, because they've got the easy runs at the start of the year.
That Eddinghausen draw, that Eddinghausen draw gets me all the time.
What about Nico's words with the sideline official? Talk to us about that.
You know what? It was the one that he got upset. Yep. The one that he got upset with wasn't a forward pass.
No.
She called it forward. He ran to Belinda and says, and yeah, sure, he might have raised his voice. He goes, "It's 3 times now. It's 3 times."
He just put his fingers up. He went three times now. Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, the referee. And do we know which referee it was?
No, I don't know his
Doesn't
name.
matter. They're all the same. They're all rubbish. The referee schooled him like he was a child.
Did you see when he walked away from him? He goes, "Come back here. I'm talking to you. Get over here."
Yeah. I mean, I thought that we're supposed to have respect for both. You know, you know what annoys me?
I hate the way they talk to players.
You know what annoys me? I'll tell you what annoys me. We can't say nothing about the referees. We can't say nothing about it. We can't question their integrity. We can't question their rulings. We can't say nothing. We can't touch them. Okay, but they can do anything to us. They can do anything to the players. Okay, I hate when they call the players by their first names. I hate it with a passion. I hate it with a passion.
And you know what? It's fair enough if he, they'll say, "Oh, he abused the touch charge." He didn't abuse anybody.
He didn't abuse anyone. Let's call call a spade a spade.
Yeah,
it was a woman.
He goes, "That's 3 times now." Right? It was a female.
It was,
which is why we got the hoopla.
Yep.
Right.
That's exactly. And you know what? You know what annoys me? Everybody's denying it. All the magazine shows, SCN,
Bullshit.
All the referees.
Yeah.
If that was, I don't know, Vince Carter on the sideline with the flag, and he said that, nothing would be said, okay? Yeah. But because it was a woman, okay, wait a minute, are they women or are they professional touch?
It shouldn't matter, they're officials.
Yeah, they're officials. That's what I think, okay? He went off his rocker, this referee.
And the way he spoke to Nico, he goes, "Hey, I'm talking to you. Come back here."
Annoyed me.
It makes you want to. It makes you want to, like, if you're the player, go into the press conference after the game.
We can't say nothing.
And say, "Who are these? Are these officials the royal fucking family that I can't ask them a question?" And by the way, to the referee, why don't you try speaking to me like that when you see me in the street and see what happens?
Yeah. We can't say nothing, Nicola, because God help us say anything.
Thankfully, the only logic that prevailed was that he wasn't charged or anything for it.
He wasn't charged?
No, he was fined for the trip that he did in the game.
That's fair enough.
Which,
I mean,
yeah, I
a
don't
trip's a trip.
know.
The referee was Peter. Sorry, I can't pronounce that name.
Peter Gow.
Peter Gow.
Never heard of her.
Yeah. Well, that's
Never heard of
about
her.
right.
Never heard
It
of
was,
her.
it was Peter Gow. So Peter Gow. Okay. You're wrong. Okay. Now they can't say nothing about you, but I'm going to say something about you. Okay. Touch person. What are they called? Touchies.
Fans with flags.
Fans with flags. She's a fan. She's not a when she's on the field. She's not a female. She's a fan. She's a fan with flag.
That's the irony.
That's it.
They don't do anything, but when they do make a call, they usually get it wrong.
Of course they do. Of course they do. You know how much I hate refs and the bunker. So Peter Goff, I'm on your back now. I'm gonna be looking at you, and please make more calls so I can highlight on this show how inept you are. And by the way, you're not a good ref anyway. That's my opinion.
Yeah, Pete, give yourself an uppercut, mate. There's been talk about Newcastle Knights. Adam O'Brien, the coach, apparently they approached Des Hasler, so his job, is it safe, is it not safe? He's had 3 great wins in a row, big wins. Does that change things?
You know what?
I don't know if his job was unsafe to begin with, but does that change things the past few weeks?
I find that intriguing, and at the start of the year, I was calling for his head as well. And you brought out a stat off air that in 3 years he's made the semi-finals twice.
After the club won 3 spoons in a row.
And I was calling for his head. And look, 3 weeks ago, the word was out in the streets that as we know about the Hasler.
Yeah,
thing.
and just one thing I want to point out as well was the year they didn't make the semis was when they lost Mitchell Pearce and Ponga for half a season as well.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah. That's right. I remember that. So, and the word out on the street was that they're looking for a different coach. Now, what an opportunity! He's got, Nicola. He's got, I think, 5 games. He's got 5 games now to make the 8.
To keep his job.
Yeah, and basically if he makes the 8, well, it's impossible to move him on. And you know what? If you asked me a month ago, I'd be saying to you, move him on. But, I've changed my tune.
It's a strange one. It's a strange one because he's every time I think of Newcastle and I think of O'Brien, I think of them struggling and not doing well. Yeah. But then when you look at it, they've done all right.
Well, if it's true what you're saying, which I don't doubt it.
I mean, I have to go back and look.
No,
but
I'm sure it is.
I'm pretty sure he's been there. Is this his 4th year?
Probably.
Right. I'm pretty sure the first 3 years he made the semis twice. I'm definitely positive they won 3 wooden spoons in a row before he got there.
Yes, they did win 3 wooden spoon. And I remember one time they missed out on they were in the 8 and they lost from that controversial game against Eastern Suburbs, forward pass, something like that. Yeah. Okay, so look, I don't know. Look, I, if he makes the 8, you can't move him on. You can't move him on. And at the moment, they're on fire.
It just sucks that. And I feel for the coaches as well. And, Hook went through all this, but they've just got to operate in uncertainty. Like make a call or don't make a call. Like for me, if you're talking about a head coaching position, which is always should be a 3 or 4 year, 3 to 5 year proposition, it shouldn't be based off 1 month of footy, regardless whether it's bad or good. Right? So make a call, make a decision. The guy doesn't deserve to have a cloud over his head all the time.
Well, he's got an opportunity now to lift that cloud. And let's hope. Actually, I hope he makes the 8.
What happens if he makes the 8 and loses the first sudden death game?
He's made the 8.
Yeah, okay.
That's good enough. Good enough.
Speaking of making the 8, did you see, I think it was on Monday night in RL360, Andrew Webster, who?
Webster?
The Warriors coach, get interviewed. Gee, that guy impresses me.
Very impressive, young man.
Just very grounded, very intelligent, super intelligent. And the one thing that stood out for me, and we've said it a few times on this pod about how the Warriors look like they're enjoying themselves, how he said the main thing is that we have fun.
Yeah, I saw that and I heard that, and I wasn't aware that was one of his philosophies. All I know is this. Now, I knew nothing of him or no, the first time I heard of him, you pointed him out to that Western Suburbs conference.
He did a press. I think it was at West.
Yes,
I could be wrong.
with
I
Madge.
think it was at West, and Madge Maguire and his assistant both had COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and this guy was like the third man up.
Mm-hmm.
And he took the press conference, and I just 5 minutes, and I remember watching it and going, "Wow, this guy's so impressive."
Yeah.
I told you about it at the time.
Yeah, and
Maybe I got the club wrong. I can't remember.
No, the Tigers. You're right. Your Tigers. You're
and
right.
I just went, man, this guy's super impressive.
Yep.
And same thing, another thing, like he said the other night, he goes, I don't yell at the players. I don't scream at players.
Look, that's good. That's a good thing.
Yeah, he's got his own way of operating, and that might evolve. I'm sure it will. But he just seems really. He's obviously won their respect.
Yes,
He's won their buy-in,
and that's what I was.
And
they
believe in him.
And that's what I was going to say. The main thing we should know about Webster Who is that he's gone to a underperforming club with a lot of potential forever, but forever underperforming, and has brought out the very best in a bunch of New Zealand-based players. Now, how good is the roster? Well, he's made them all fantastic. He's made them all look $1 million. And let's not talk about the top of play that they're playing with ball in hand. But, my question to you, and you're going to say you're going to bring this back up, if he had the Bulldogs team or his best friend there who was coaching together,
who knows?
Okay, has he improved any individual player in the Bulldogs team?
I mean, if you're comparing the two, the Bulldogs.
The question is, has he improved any individual player? Because we know Webster has.
No, right? The Bulldogs.
So,
they've probably had the worst injury toll this season as well. Like disruptions. I know, but you know what? You look at the Dolphins in their first season. They're doing So something's not right. Webster. I think he's one thing that I picked up from his interview as well was that he's embedded himself in the New Zealand culture.
I noticed that.
And so he's won over the fans, and he kept referring to the fans. And what might be working in his favour is, don't forget, they've spent 2 years away from home. So the team's just happy to be home again this season.
Yes.
But he's just found a way to pull it all together, all these different aspects. And I don't want to get ahead of myself. Gee, I would love to see the Warriors win the comp. I'm not saying it's possible, right? But
how good is that?
I just think he's managed to pull all these different moving parts in the same direction.
Yeah.
And this, for me, at least I think, this is the best I've seen any Warriors team ever play. And that includes the Stacey Jones era.
I agree. You know what, with Webster, he's done his apprenticeship. He's moved around to lots of clubs. And, the crowd or the buy-in, I think he got that from England. I watch a lot of Super League, and let me tell you, the crowd buys into every one of their teams.
Well, and you're right about having done his apprenticeship. He's actually been in quite a few clubs. So in Ricky Stewart's press conference at the weekend, where they lost in Golden Point to the Warriors, and that's another thing. The Warriors, they're showing a steely nerve this year that they haven't had before.
Never.
Ricky Stewart was asked about him, and he goes, I've got a lot of time for him. We worked together at Parramatta. So that means he was on Ricky's staff 10 years ago.
Wow. Yeah, he's done his
So he's been around for a while. Really under the radar, and obviously someone who hasn't rushed. Like, you got the Trent Barretts and these guys who rushed into jobs. He clearly hasn't. And one thing I'm really hoping, because we're seeing, I should say, Craig Fitzgibbon. We're seeing that. I really hope that's not the case with Webby. I hope come next year.
No, I don't think so.
He looks like the real deal.
I don't think so. Because Cronulla is exactly the same team as they were last year. Really?
I would argue they've got a better roster too.
Cronulla? Yeah, individually, yes. Yeah. And that's my argument with Dolphins and Cronulla compared to the Bulldogs. I'm not saying they got a good roster. All I ask
They've
people,
got a decent roster.
Well, all I ask people is, has he improved anyone? Tell me one player that he's improved this year. That's all I ask.
Well, Kyle Flanagan's improved, but
Yes.
that wasn't Serrato. That was in Stakar.
I don't think it was Serrato either. I mean, you can argue the winger, you can argue the Carraz. Maybe. I don't know.
He's got a lot of potential, that kid.
Yeah, he's a good young man. But anyway, Webby's the best. If he doesn't get coach of the year, I'll be a monkey's uncle.
I think Webby, he took over a stronger operation at the time.
He said it was a basket case when we went there.
No, I'm sure it was. I mean, it always has been. But 2 years ago, the Dogs got the spoon. Last year, they finished last, but they missed out on for and against on getting the spoon. They finished equal last, I should say.
Yeah, that cutlery.
So you could argue that Serrato stepped into a tougher situation.
Yeah, mate.
But I mean, the Warriors you just don't know what you're ever going to get. But what we're seeing from them this season is, I'm really enjoying it.
And they're good to watch too. I love watching their play. They're intriguing. They're complex. They build the game. Mate, that lesbian.
What about Shaun Johnson?
Johnston, the lesbian. They're the best.
What about his try? So let's talk about Dallin Wateni, lesbian act's try-saving tackle on Sebastian Chris.
You had to bring that up. Okay. Sebastian Chris and Ricky claims that's why they lost the game. Sebastian Chris was all money going to score a try. He was over the line, basically. All he had to do is dive over. The lesbian comes from nowhere and knocks the ball out of his hand. Now, I'm not sure, and he wasn't conclusive because the bunker looked at it, okay?
Yep.
His arm, his hand, his fist might have hit his head. Okay. Now, Ricky claims it's a penalty try.
That was a slap. There was nothing in that, really.
Was it some sort of touch? Now, look, my view.
But are we penalising touches on the face?
No, no. Look, there wasn't no
Of course,
penalty.
Ricky's going to scream for a penalty. It was against
Ricky
his
was
team.
screaming blue murder.
Any coach in that situation will, but if it was the other end of the field, they'd be screaming the opposite.
Oh yeah. Ricky was. I think you know what? For him to be there to save the try, how he saved it, it was spectacular. It was full of urgency. Okay, and that's the Warrior culture now.
Desperation.
Yeah.
And
I loved it.
You could argue he's in career best form. You could argue Shaun Johnson is in career best form. Adam Fanua-Blake, Tohu Harris.
He is.
Go on.
They are. All of them. And those three that you mentioned especially, okay, and I didn't know Shaun can play that good. I mean, he's a highlight reel when he wants to be a highlight reel.
We've seen it in flashes, right? But now we're seeing it every week.
Consistently, yeah. And Fanua-Blake, my godfather.
And they're all just smiling. They're happy. They're all happy.
How good is it, huh?
It's great. It's
after what they did for us, because they did it for us, 3 years it was.
I still can't believe that the NRL and the other clubs didn't give away one home game. If everyone just gave away one home game for the year, the Warriors would have played the entire season at home.
I'd love it. Love it.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to. I'm really enjoying watching them.
No, can't wait for this week.
Let's talk about the Dragons. Artie will enjoy this. So as we know, Shane Flanagan's coming in as the new head coach for next season. He's going to make sweeping changes.
He's been busy.
He's been very clear about what the spine, not the spine, that's the wrong word, the backbone that he wants in that club. If I say the spine, you'll think I'm talking about players.
Yeah.
He wants to introduce that hard-nosed, tough work ethic culture in the club.
Okay.
So I'm not too sure about names. You probably know better than I do. But he's told a few players they can leave.
Yeah.
He's got a few players he wants to bring in.
He's Artie's going to be shattered. He told Sullivan he can look elsewhere, which I'm surprised as well. But in Flano we trust. He says that Hunt's going nowhere.
Yeah,
that's what he said. And Zach's going nowhere. Thank God, Zach's been the best player the last 3 years. Best player. There's a Catalan's not Catalan. Sorry, there's a lead leopard hooker who's a Fijian who's an absolute gun. Okay, and he's going to be a gun in Australia as well. He hasn't played in Australia. He's bringing him over apparently.
I would argue there's another hooker he's bringing over.
He'll bring his son over
He's
as
a
well.
hooker now, right?
And you know what? he's a better hooker than
He's
half.
playing well, yeah.
He's good, so he's
He's
a good
killing
kid.
it in Cup.
He's
yeah.
a good kid, man. He's a good
Yeah.
kid. He's too good for Cup. He's too good for
He's
Cup.
copped a lot of shit, that poor kid. Yeah.
I like that since a couple of years ago when he broke down. And
That was wrong. He should never have been put in front of the camera.
I can't believe they put him in front of the camera.
Yeah.
I've just had a soft spot for Flano. We wrote some players that they're bringing over. Did we write the players that they're bringing over?
No, I don't have him here.
Okay, so look, he's making sweeping changes. He's put the Flanagan stamp on, and Adi, I think there's good days coming ahead. We've said it. It took them a long time, or they had to go around the block to get the right coach, but they got the right coach. And watch his space. I think, all the Red V supporters will be singing a different tune next year. I hope so.
Now, seeing as we're talking about traditional clubs, how about the Bunnies? We've got Latrell back this week.
Thank God.
And they have to get it right from here on in.
Well, they're outside the 8, Nicola, and they've got to get it right from here on. They've got to get it right. Now, they're lucky they've got us.
I think it was 5-6 weeks ago they were sitting first, wasn't
Sorry. Yeah, I think first or somewhere about that, but they're lucky they got a bye and they got a softer draw, and Latrell's coming back. But they've got a long way before they can recatch that form that saw them coming first. Now, I suggested that they could be in the grand final. They're far away from that type of form at the moment.
But you know what? This season it's been impossible to predict. So many teams we thought were going to be there are not. So many ones that we didn't think would be there are. And it's seesawing back and forth. And
it is, but you know what? The Bunnies are a team where, as you said to me, the last 4 prelims? 5 prelims. So you expect them to be in the hunt. At the moment, how they look, they're not in the hunt. Now, is Latrell going to solve the majority of the problems?
Yes. Yeah.
No, yes.
Yeah.
But there's still a few decisions that Dimitri has got to make. I've got my concerns, and this hurts me so much to say. I've got concerns on Lockie. Now he's got a few weeks to fix it. Okay, but Blake Taff is knocking on the door, and he'll slot in lovely at number 7. And you know what? Weaker men would have made the swap already, but Dimitri is holding his nerve. Probably waiting for Latrell to come back.
Yeah, there's been talk that that's what saved Ilias's spot in the team this week. Yeah, because he does have a good combination with Latrell, and Latrell unlocks Cody. It's I think you'll see a different side this week. But the Bunnies, you know what? They're too good to not be there. I think they will be there at the end of the year.
They'll make the 8. They'll make the 8.
I mean, I'm talking beyond the 8. They'll be there in the last couple of weekends.
Look, on paper, and for Cody's sake, and for Latrell's sake, and for the whole thing, I mean, at the start of the year, they're beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
And Cody's the best, probably one of the best ball players in the game. But he can't do it all by himself. So he needs help. He needs help from his forwards. See, the South Sydney forwards get you to a point in the field, Nicola. So they're no nonsense. They get you to a point. Okay, so Cody can do his thing. Okay, that might have to change a little bit. They might have to get a little bit of variations because what the defenses do, they know what's happening. So all they do is stack the middle.
Yep.
Okay, then when they know 3 or 4's over, they move over with Cody. It's simple. Cody's going to get the ball, so they just slide over to Cody. You know what I mean? So Dimitri might have to do some thinking as well. Okay, and I'm sure he will do. I'm sure. Look, I believe in Dimitri. He will do that thinking, and he'll solve the puzzle. But it just seems like such a long way to go.
I just think there's such a different team with Mitchell in them.
That is true.
Let's not judge them until after this weekend.
No,
and even that's too early because the guys missed a lot of football. So I hope people aren't expecting miracles from him.
And you know what?
He's missed a lot of footy.
And you know what? Latrell probably come first game and just carve up. No,
Latrell. He's missed a lot of footy, but I just think the Bunnies are too good to. I think they're going to come good now.
I hope so.
I think so. What was Martin Tapau doing? What was that? Can someone explain? We've not seen that from him. I don't think. I can't explain what he was thinking.
I've got no idea.
I don't think he intentionally tried to knee lift someone like a flying knee. He's not the Macho Man, Randy Savage.
No.
But what was he thinking?
You know what?
Was there a turtle on the field he was trying to jump over? Like, well, what happened?
I saw it happening, and I go, "What? You know what? He was lifting his knees.
He just mistimed something. Yeah,
maybe he was lifting his knees high in a running action, and I go, oh." Then all of a sudden he got into tackle, and he just lifts his knee up, and thank God he didn't hit.
He would have broken his jaw.
Thank God he didn't hit him in the head. You know what I mean? I go, what was that? What the F was that? It was diabolical.
I don't even think he knew what.
I don't.
And it's not in his game, right?
It's not in his game.
It's not his character.
It's not his game, and I think he paid 3 weeks for it. He paid 3 weeks for it, so that's about right. He's got 3 weeks for it, but where did that come from? Well, I think he must have been. I think he's a 10-year veteran or close to it.
He is, yeah. He's. I'm laughing because it's just like, what was that? Like,
so uncharacteristic for Tapau, but look, he's paying the price.
Look, you know what? He will be well rested for the semis.
Absolutely.
Right. Speaking of the Broncos, how good's Reece Walsh going?
Oh,
are we looking at the next potential superstar of the game?
Yes.
He is, isn't he? He's just got all the ingredients.
Oh wow, he's dynamic. He's explosive, and with all that, he can handle the ball in his hand, and he can count numbers. He gets on it. He skips on. He either can skip around you or skip on an outside shoulder and then shorten the line. He goes direct. Then he's got ball skills. He can pull you apart. You know what? With him in the team, the week before he wasn't in the team, yeah, they were good. All right. You put him in the team,
it's different team.
And they're just electric. He's electric. And then you add in the spice of Carrigan and Huss, and my God.
It's funny because before the Origin series, I don't want to keep harping on it. Everyone kind of balked at Reece Walsh, like Ponga's the fullback. He had such a good series last year.
Did.
Post Origin series, I can't see the team without Walsh at fullback.
No.
He had that much in 2 games. He had that much of an impact.
He's going to be the long-term Queensland number 1, and you know what? He's only starting. He will improve.
Yeah.
He will improve, and we're going to see he's going to be the next superstar of the game, and if he behaves himself, he'll be the next face of rugby league.
With
believe it.
We were talking about Tapau's flying knee. What about Sims' swinging arm against the Newcastle Knights for Melbourne Storm?
You know what?
Break that one down for me.
It was a swinging arm.
There's not much to break down, is there?
You can't hit. Even if it's accidental, you can't. We know that.
Sims,
we've talked about it.
You can only do that if you're coming off the ropes.
That as well.
Okay.
But the issue is when he got sent off, for 10, that's when Newcastle scored most of the points. They scored 3 tries.
Now,
it changed the whole complex of the game.
Can you imagine being in Bellamy's change room after that?
Well, okay.
Sims?
Okay, so...
you know what? I just would have caught a cab home.
Nicola...
I'd just quit the club. I wouldn't show up the next day.
Yeah, Nicola... I think you should go and watch on YouTube the spray Bellamy gave him at halftime.
Oh, wow.
You could see him. Spit was flying.
Actually, I didn't watch his press conference either. Was there anything in that?
No, he just said that my team doesn't want to win.
I'll have to check it out.
They don't want it hard enough. But when they put cameras into the halftime, his arms were waving. From behind, you could see spit flying out. It was a spray of all sprays.
I love Craig Bellamy. If we can just digress for a moment. Forget which show it is. It might be 360. I can't remember. There's one show where every time they have him on as a guest, he just nods his head and he goes, "Oh, not this again." And they show footage of him. I think it was the 89 or 90 grand final when Canberra won. He was the 18th man, so he didn't play. but he's running around the field in a clean jersey carrying the trophy.
Mate, doesn't matter. You
And
get the chocolates.
No, I know, but they keep showing it, and he's just like, oh, he's just so sick of seeing it. But it's pretty funny.
I'll tell you another.
You don't see him laugh that often, you know.
I'll tell you another story. Okay. Melbourne Storm had just finished a training session, and they went to the assistant coach, and they said to him, you know what, we got heavy legs. You know, we're really battling. Any chance tomorrow we can do a pool session? He goes, okay, I'll ask Craig, but he goes, I'm pretty sure I know the answer. So he goes into Craig's office.
That's going to end up working out bad, right?
He goes into Craig's office and he goes, the boys just asked me that they got heavy legs, and you know if you don't mind tomorrow doing the pool session, they got heavy legs, have they? He walks into the dressing room. They're changing. He goes, heard you fellas got heavy legs. You go, oh, no one said anything. Oh, actually, they went first. Sorry, I missed this. They went to Cam. Some of the leading players went to camp to Smitty and said, "Could you tell this to Craig?" He goes, "Yeah, no." He goes, "No way." He goes, So they went to the assistant coach.
Yeah.
He goes, "Heard you got heavy legs, boys. Want to do some pool sessions tomorrow?" Sort of half-heartedly. I said yes. He goes, "Never seen a comp one in the pool." He goes, "Never seen a comp one in the pool." He goes, "I'll tell you what." He goes, "You can put your spikes back on. We're doing fucking more sprints." He took him out again after the session. He goes and they done sprints again. You know what I mean? You go and they learnt their lesson. They don't ask anymore.
I already knew that was going to backfire. You just don't go there. You just don't go there.
You'd love that story.
You just don't go there with bellyache, right?
That's a good one.
Can you tell us who? Because I certainly don't know who he is, but there's a youngster by the name of Kobe Hetherington.
Oh.
Can you give us a bit of background on this kid?
Nicola Kobe Hetherington is on the bench for the Broncos. He's got a famous father who played for the Bulldogs, and I think, did he play for North Queensland, or did he come from
Jason
North
Hetherington?
Yeah, Jason.
He's a Queenslander.
Did he come from the Cowboys?
Sure. I remember him at the Bulldogs, obviously.
Anyway, he spent most of his years at the Bulldogs, and he was outstanding. Nico, this kid is ready for first grade. He's a first grade rugby league player. And
what position does he play?
He's a back rower.
Okay.
He's a back rower. He's ready for first grade. He's a first grade rugby league player, and Broncos' embarrassment of riches, they've got him on the bench when someone's
Is he really tall?
Yeah.
Because I saw a story today about Kevy unleashing a 198 centimetre. Really? That must be him, is it?
Maybe, I'm not sure.
I didn't. But it was on Fox Sports.
He's a Reggie's player.
Okay.
He just comes onto the bench when when one's short or one's injured or one's sent off, and you go, this kid is special. So I mean, I'm sure they want to hold on to him. And look, I don't know what they're paying for him, but if I was a recruitment manager, I'll be making some phone calls because this kid is special. And look, his DNA tells me that he's going to be a hard nut because his father is one of the hardest nuts I've ever seen.
These days, you only need to have 3 good games, and they price you at $1 million, and every club's chasing you.
Yeah.
These days.
Talking about that, you know the two brother back rowers that
the Tigers signed from Manly,
yeah, $500,000 each. Are they insane?
For 4 years.
Each year, 500,000.
Yeah.
Are they insane? Are they crazy?
Let's hope they become something special because
that's $1 million out of your cap for a promise, for potential.
One of them has played first grade. One of them hasn't.
I've seen one of them. I haven't seen the other. I saw him.
Look,
in the under-19s.
Manly, and by all reports, by all accounts, everyone has big tabs on these kids.
Well, I saw them in the under 19s.
But they are kids.
Yeah, I saw them in the under 19s, and they just, to me, they look like serviceable rugby league players. The halfback that you lost, he looked like the special kid.
Ethan Sanders, he's gone to Canberra.
He looked like the special kid. So I don't know, but anyway,
the worry for me, and I mean the Tigers, they're no different to the Dragons or the Bulldogs. They're planning big things. They're planning on turning the club around and everything. Yeah. These guys will not shine in a struggling club. No one ever does.
Well, you can't.
So the Tigers, they'd want to improve if they want to get value out of these kids.
Absolutely. Let's see what happens there. But
Yeah.
I just when you just said the price tag, and I just thought of these two kids. I think
it's $4 million.
I thought it
in
was
total.
500 for both of them. It's
No.
500,000 each. Wow, that's crazy.
Unless I misread it. That's what I read.
No. You're right,
Yeah.
and just proves to me that Fulton's one of the best recruitment managers in the game.
It was $4 million 4 years, wasn't it?
Yeah. Again, Fulton's one of the best recruitment managers in the game.
I mean, look how good Manly's going at the moment.
Outstanding.
They got a win, but they almost got run down from 30-0 against a team who hasn't beaten a team in the 8. Yeah,
depleted team. Anyway,
let's go to done and dusted. Battle for the Spoon kicked off. Sorry, Artie, I know you don't like that. Kicked off, but the good news is your team won't be coming last.
no way.
Dragons 18, Tigers 14.
Nicola,
It
this
was a bit of a nail biter
Maybe
in the second half.
Maybe, but this was definitely one. This is definitely one to catch the cutlery, mate. This is definitely a cutlery game. The best thing about this game is that Dragons avoided the spoon. Zach Lomax had an outstanding game and produced an outstanding.
He's such a talented player.
Yeah, but I'm going to dub this even before we get to that section. The bludger of the game. It was a hard watch, Nicola.
It
was
was
a hard watch.
I think there was one. Was there one try in the second half, or was there?
No, I switched off.
I can't remember.
It was bad. You know what? I like my Thursday night football, but that was tough. That was a tough watch.
Yeah, it wasn't easy.
That was a tough watch.
The second game is the one we talked about before. Turned into an absolute nail biter. The Warriors 21 points to 20 over the Raiders in Golden Point. Now the Raiders, for those of you who didn't see it, I think they scored 2 tries in a minute.
Never looked in it.
At the end.
Never looked in the game.
And drew the game, and Toots could have won it from the sideline conversion, but he missed.
Yep.
And then the Warriors got the ball from the kickoff, went up, and Shaun Johnson potted the field goal. Easy as you like.
Yeah, never looked in the game. The Raiders, Nicola. But you know what? They do what they've done all year. They're gritty. They're honest. They don't give up. They just hang in there. And these things can happen because just the way they play. I don't understand them. I can't work them out. I don't like what they do, but I don't see any upside. Like I can't believe that they're in the 8. That's the way they're playing. But there you go. They're in the 8, and who knows? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's that. I'm going to say it on air again. Toots might need a week.
Pretty sure this is his last season.
Yeah. I was going to say he might need a week at Fiji and to get us some tattoos or something because
Bali.
Sorry, he might need a Bali. I got to admit that Timiko keeps on impressing Nicola. I actually like him, and Jack's just Jack. And I got to admit, after a long layoff, Josh Papaliki, he was pretty good on the day. Now on the other side, and I've waxed lyrical about him. We spoke about him before. This Warriors team, they're ready for semi-finals. They're outstanding.
I can't wait to see them play. Yeah.
They're ready for semi-finals. They're outstanding. I'm not going to go through all the names because we've went through all the names. Adam Fanuka Blake, whatever. Shaun Metcalf's outstanding.
Wade
Egan, wow,
phenomenal.
Yeah. Chance.
Good old Chance at fullback. Incidentally, Andrew Webster stated also in that interview, they've got Roger Tuivasa-Sheck coming next season. He said Chance is the fullback.
Yeah, Chance is the fullback.
And Tuivasa-Sheck knows that already.
Yeah, well, look, I think Rocco Berry's a good player, but and Adam Pompey, I think he's a good player too, but one of them has to make way for.
You just remind me when you said Adam Pompey. Remember Sean Hoppy?
Yeah.
Great player. Good,
Winger, great player. All I'm going to say about, and I hope you don't lose me here, the Warriors are playing with ball in hand. Let's forget the defence because they're a good defensive unit. We've seen they're a good defensive unit, and that's the hardest part of the game. But what we see is ball in hand. They are playing a very advanced style of play, a very advanced structure. They're playing two leads out of shape. Now, I'm not going to go on about it. It's something that Penrith done last year. They're not doing anymore. Penrith has simplified their game. We just watch really lovely sweeping plays, but the way that the Lesbians score in the tries, what happens 2 passes in with Shaun and what happens around Shaun is what's bringing the defence short. So have a look what happens with ball in hand, and if you really look, you'll see how it all evolves and how the Lesbians score in the try. They're playing just this advanced style of rugby league, and I really love watching them. I enjoy watching their style, and I can watch the Warriors every day of my life, and they show me something different, because how they got into Golden Point, I don't know, but guess what? They won.
Yeah,
they got out of it.
Yep.
Which is
and that's that steely nerve that we were talking about earlier as well.
Which not even when they win the grand finals they had.
Yeah,
they're just talented rugby league players.
They're kind of lucky to get there to both of those.
Yeah.
Rabbitohs, well, they weren't at home, were they, to the Broncos? They played,
Sunshine Coast.
Yeah. Broncos 36 points to 20 over the Rabbits.
Interesting game, Nicola. Interesting game.
Latrell was supposed to be back for that one, which I think would have made it a much better game. But it was close. The Rabbitohs were leading. It wasn't
early doors. Yeah. It was close. As the game went on, especially in the second half, and the forwards, the Bronco forwards took over. Bronco forwards took over. Then all these other people popped up. Haas and Carrigan carry them out of their red zone, of their dirty ball so effectively. No other two can do what they do. And Payne Haas, my Godfather, I can't.
How good is he?
Stop. He's not going to win you a comp, but what he does, no one else can do. Then all of a sudden, there's this young man called Reece Walsh, out of shape, gets the ball and just strips you on outside shoulders, and just the line, the defensive line, the South Sydney defensive line just goes into spasm. Okay, the inside forwards or the middle forwards don't tie in. The minute they don't move across and don't tie in, which we're talking about middle part of second half. Okay, the Bronco forwards, the Bronco backs are having a field day. Now he ended up 36-20. I think that's about right. I think that shows me what happened. I want to just put Pat Blake Taff, outstanding. Yeah, outstanding.
He's a great pickup for you guys. He really is.
He's a great player. Cody frustrated because what they were doing is it was very, very predictable. If Cody's on the left, we just stack the left. So what happened was the forwards are getting you to a point. So South Sydney forwards get you to a point, then they play off that point. Dimitri's got to vary it up, but look, in Dimitri we trust. Because of that, Katie had an unhappy night. I enjoyed the game. I loved it, Nicola. I enjoyed it. And I was saying, Dimitri has got a call to make on a very difficult call to make on Lockie. I hope Lockie, when Latrell comes back, everything changes, and he will change. Everything will change. Everything will change.
This week, yeah.
But it's been a month now, and Dimitri might fool us all, and know what's going to happen when Latrell comes back, because I certainly don't.
You know what else happened on the weekend?
What's that?
The Roosters won.
It's more about the Titans. They're diabolical.
They went away to the Gold Coast and they won.
You know what? I saw smiles on faces. I saw expansive play. I saw our favourite fullback be the champion that he is again. I didn't enjoy the game because it was a one-sided affair.
I actually didn't see that game.
It was a one-sided affair, Nicola. They were diabolical. I think they've put the Q in the rack. I think they've had 2 close losses, the Titans, and I think they've just said, I've had enough. No Tino, no win. Tino is a natural born leader. He says, give me the ball, guys, follow me. No Tino, no win. Unfortunately, Fafita isn't that type of player. I'm not. There's not much to say here. Roosters, let's say they're outstanding against, let's say, a very not a weakened team, but emotionally a very weakened team.
The Dogcats have had a few really tight games. A couple of not golden point, but
well, no, we talked about it last
single
week.
point. Yeah, I think it just wore them down a bit.
I think so. I think they've had enough. I think enough's enough now. I think enough's enough, and they probably said, you know what, we should have got one of those two, and we would have been talking or thinking about the 8.
Yeah.
And I think they've just had enough. And look, Tino's for that team.
Massive for any team.
Loss.
But obviously specifically for that team. But Saturday afternoon at 5:30, we had
you got it.
We spoke about it earlier. Newcastle.
The Newcastle game.
26 points to 18 over the Storm.
Game of the round.
I actually didn't see that one either.
Game of the round, Nicola. The Storm came out, put 12 really early points, and looked $1 million. $1 million. Then two things happen. Number one, that
the swinging
arm, which sent
Sims to the bin.
And then all of a sudden, Newcastle transformed.
Yeah.
Into a hard running, hard tackling rugby league team. Okay. And they scored 3 tries in that time. Okay. And the captain of the Artie sledging team, Mr. Mr. Gamble, okay. Beside he was sledging everybody. Apparently a fly came on the field on someone's shoulder. He was sledging the fly as well. Okay. Kicks a 40-20. Okay. Kicks a 40-20 and starts sledging the ball or something. He just started sledging everybody. He was in one of those moods, okay? And that just completely changed the game. You know what? Ponga, Ari, I'm in awe of you, how you can pick youngsters. Ponga is in outstanding form at the moment. I'm going to, and worth every part of his 1.4, going to 1.6 next year. Bradman Best, how did you pick, in God's name, how did you pick Bradman Best 4 years ago, Adi, when he was a little skinny guy? I don't know. Adi said to me, this kid's going to play Origin one day.
Yeah.
I didn't see nothing. I saw nothing, Nicola.
No one did.
I saw nothing. Okay, he was carving it up. It seemed to me that Storm had put the cue in the rack, but they hadn't, because the Knights had lifted so much emotionally. They were just playing with their food. So I hope it continues. I enjoy watching the Knights in this form. I love watching Gamble do Gamble sort of things. And I can't wait for this week. This was the game of the round.
Yeah, it was.
I loved it. It was good.
Yeah. So following that on Saturday night, you had up in Townsville, the Cowboys beat the Eels 24 points to 16.
Talk to me.
I did see this one.
Yay.
Straight up, the score did not reflect the game.
No?
The Cowboys were way, way better.
Yeah, I thought so.
Parramatta, I just think they're not going to make the 8. They're not going to make the 8. I said it a few weeks back.
This week tell us a story.
They're just too... still missing Dylan Brown.
Yeah, this week.
Losing their leading try scorer, Micah Sevo, for 4 games. Regan Campbell-Gillard for 4 games, both for 2 idiotic things that were avoidable. Now Shaun Lane's gone again.
Is that
so
season?
It's that
season for Shaun?
Well, it's a dislocated elbow, so I don't know.
Maybe 3 weeks.
But it's just the season they've had. There was too much damage done early in the year. They just don't deserve to be there.
Yeah, I think
so. They were always going to struggle with the players that left last season, but they actually probably handled it a little bit better than I expected. But yeah, it's curtains for them. It's curtains for them.
Yeah, look, I enjoyed I enjoyed watching
the Cowboys were really good.
The Cowboys doing their thing.
Eels' defense was horribly soft. You know, Gutho tried hard. Moses tried hard.
I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to be positive here.
No, I mean they almost came back. You know, but But the Cowboys are on a hot streak too.
Okay. In terms of the Eels, I enjoyed Cartwright. He continues to have a good season. And Junior came back and showed something because the other week he was a bit flat. Now, and you're right, everything you said about the Eels, you're right. Now, the Cowboys are in this rare form. And if they continue this form, Nicola, I picked, do you remember who I picked for the grand final?
No, I can't actually.
The Bunnies and the Cowboys. Okay.
Yeah,
one together or one or the other?
Panthers will be there.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, this team, and again, I'm going to say it again, I have no idea where they found this form because the first part of the year, they were diabolical.
That was like, it's two different teams.
I know. They were diabolical.
They had a lot of injuries too, though.
They did have a lot of
first half
injuries.
of the season.
And talking about injuries, I think Nanai has got a shoulder injury. Yeah. He's going to play on. Yeah, good luck to the kid. Look, Kaida, Nanai, Luciano, my God, playing better than last year. Okay. Reese, we know. Now, if the Chad is on the outer, now I don't know how old he is. Is he 32, 33? I'm not sure. But let me tell you, he is what this team needs. Now, if they think and they're talking about bringing another halfback in from, I don't know, here, there and everywhere, and it just all this noise around the Chad. I have no idea what someone's watching because the Chad is just killing them. He's the reason that they're clicking. You know what I mean?
Was it Jake Glanville's 200th?
Was it Glanville's 200 as well?
Glanville, was it 200?
Probably was.
Yeah, I should have checked that up.
That and the icing on the cake, the caviar drinking. Again, you know, once upon a time he was flashy and showed nothing else and would make a mistake. He's pretty much the full package now. Nicola, this team can win the comp.
Yeah.
And I'll be surprised if they're not there on the day.
Okay.
If they continue on this
big
form.
call, but okay.
They're outstanding.
Sunday afternoon, Panthers 44, Bulldogs 18. Pretty hard to say you expected any different. The Bulldogs had a host of players missing.
No, we expected.
Cleary came back and it looks like he never left.
Yeah, we expected that.
There's really not much to say about that one, is there?
Not really. The only thing I said to you off air is how Ivan changed his style of play. I mean, obviously Serrata or Mr. Popular knows exactly how the Penrith system works, and he rejigged his attack instead of going from the backs carting the ball up out of dirty ball. What he did was he made like the grand final. He made Leota and I forget his other front row partner, Fisher Harris, to go through the middle. Both of them had in 30 minutes they had 16 carries and 12. One had 12, the other one had 13 carries, and they were over 160 meters. So whatever game plan the Bulldogs or Mr. Popular had written down just got thrown out the window because they completely changed their style. Again, there's not much to say. We talked about the Bulldogs' plight, and the Panthers just keep on rolling on.
And closing out the round at Shark Park, can you believe early in the second half the Sharks were down 30 points to 0 against Manly?
No.
Came back to make it 30 to 26. Almost did enough to steal it, to equal it, but just fell short.
The Sharks early doors for 70 minutes, they were atrocious.
Yeah,
they were bad. Not Manly was playing such elevated, outstanding rugby league. They were bad. They were missing tackles. They were getting pulled out of shape. Their go forward was nil. Nico was battling to with his sweep plays to find second man runners. Would go out behind because they show you some beautiful shapes, Cronulla, but the shapes were there, but the penetration wasn't. At the 70th minute came, Nicola, and they either Manly either put the queue in the rack, or they'll just out of their feet. I think a bit of both. And in
They
walked
hung
in,
on.
in walks in Cronulla, but honestly, the score doesn't indicate the game. You said that Cronulla will miss the 8. I think they'll miss the 8. I think they'll miss the 8. I think Fitzy's got some work to do. Nico's confidence is down. I don't know. I have no idea. Now that they've lost Finucane as well.
Massive blow.
Well,
Massive.
their pack is the issue.
Yeah.
The pack's the issue. They can't handle other first grade packs. So that's what's gonna get them, Nicola, at the end of the day.
So let's run through. What was the? I know we touched on some of these earlier. Best game in the round?
The Knights.
Knights and Storm.
Storm. I loved it.
Bludger of the round. I think we both agreed it was the first one. The Dragons Tigers.
Yeah.
What stood out for you this round?
The teams that are going or on the edge of the 8, you can see the desperation. Your Knights, your Canberra, which they lost, and all those teams are around that 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can see they've lifted a little bit. They're going for it. You know what I mean? You know, if they're good enough to go for it, I'm not sure, but they've all lifted their intensity. And the run in now, I noticed that the teams have lifted, which is good to see.
Yeah, for me, I think it was Teddy.
Teddy's
It's good to see him become Teddy again.
Outstanding, yeah. I love Teddy.
Who gets the John Cruz spray this round?
Oh, you know what? If you're anyone who decides to lift their knees up in a tackle and nearly decapitate somebody, okay, you got to get a spray from Johnny. You got to get a spray from Johnny. Surely, you got to get a spray. From
Mine's
Johnny.
for Tim Sheens.
What did Timmy do this year?
Well, it's the same thing he does every week. He goes into the press conference and blames the referees for decisions that went against them. Yeah.
See, I thought Tim's better than that.
Yeah, no.
I think Tim's
He's
better
struggling.
than that.
He's struggling. They got 48 coaches in the box. Have you noticed that? And a woman.
I know he's got 48 coaches in there.
Yeah, there's so many people in that box. I don't know. Anyway,
that place is you know what? They can buy anyone they want.
now we're not going Manoli's player of the round, are we?
No. It's
So lead us through on this one.
I should say Manoli because I'd get in trouble. I'll get in trouble too. But Vagelis, I can just imagine. I got to get a phone call. He just doesn't want to pay the money to call me Manoli. But Vageli, the son of Manolis, he made it very clear until Dad comes back. It's Manoli. It's Vagelis' play of the round, and. It's one I didn't think of, but you know what? I think I'm going to give it. I'm going to get rocks thrown to me. Ponga.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I'm going Shaun Johnson.
Yeah. Shaun Johnson, yeah. Shaun. So
big moment.
So yeah. So Newcastle and
bit of a long drive for
just
New
for
Zealand,
a Euro.
just to get a Euro. Yeah.
Yeah, but he'll do it because he loves his Euro.
He might save it for the next Sydney game.
Shaun, he loves his Euro, so and what he does like, because he's had it before from us, he's had it a few times. I think Artie's picked him, you picked him, I've picked him before. And the good thing about
wait a second, it's settled. The Warriors have got a bye this week.
Oh, he'll come over.
He's coming over.
He'll go to Newcastle, pick up
Kalen.
and go to the south side of Sydney there. And I'll tell you one thing that he really likes. And Vagelis is really liberal with it. The Parmesan.
Parmesan cheese.
He loves the Parmesan, Nicola.
You know what I'm missing?
What's that?
These. I'm missing Artie Spam now. And Ask Artie.
You know what? It's to be honest, it's weird. It's strange. Last week we had and I want to thank, and it's we're probably an hour and a half into the pod. I should have said it.
Yeah, we should have said something.
First up,
Troy. Yeah.
Troy. Thank you for last week. You're a thankful addition, or you're a good addition to us. It worked better, and we got feedback that bring back Troy, as one person said. So thank you again, Troy. But it's just strange not having that.
I know.
He's spam mail and he's cheeky. He's cheeky. And you know what? I'm trying really hard to call the players by their right names because I haven't got any correcting.
Well, I can't even see the screen from here. Let's run into crystal ball.
That's crystal ball.
Round 21. Round 21.
Wow.
You believe it?
We're nearly there.
Okay, so we're kicking off with a rip snorter. Broncos v Roosters.
I don't think it's going to be a rip snorter. I think the Broncos.
You don't think the
win.
Roosters will put up a fight?
Broncos win 13+.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What about the second? That's Thursday night.
Yeah.
The first Friday night game, Tigers hosting the Rabbitohs. Tigers at $9, long odds.
Yeah. Look, this is where
Good game for Mitchell to come back.
This is where it starts. I think this is where it starts for the Rabbitohs. Again, it's going to be another blowout. Actually, it probably won't be a blowout. I think they're going to try really hard, the Tigers. And you know what? Every game they've played, they've tried hard. So
Yeah.
there's no issue there. But I think by the end of the night, Rabbitohs will rack a few up.
The second Friday night game, Storm. They're hosting the Eels. Are they playing in Melbourne? Or is that conflicting with the...
Who knows? Is it a Eels game or a Storm game?
It's a Storm home
Okay,
game.
so they'll play in Melbourne because they're playing
Okay.
Marvel Stadium. So they're playing Marvel.
Yeah, I'll tip the Storm on that one.
Yeah, look, I'm going to go against you. I really believe because I don't understand the Storm, but I understand Para. I think Para will win because they got to win. Because they got to win.
I just think there's too much firepower missing.
They've got to win. I think they'll win.
We'll see.
Brad Arthur.
Yeah, that doesn't sway me, George.
Brad Arthur.
So come Saturday afternoon, the Raiders will be at home to the Knights. That's going to be a cracker, based on form.
I don't get the Raiders. I don't understand them.
They'll bounce back.
I think the Knights will win.
The Raiders, they were hurting after last week. I don't know. Ricky will have them up.
Yeah, look.
Ricky will have them believing this is a game they have to win.
Oh, they got to win it.
Yeah.
They got to win it. And I look in terms of, because I'm a neutral. Either one wins. Like it doesn't worry me.
Yeah.
I just think Knights will win because I think they got more, I don't know, firepower.
Yeah.
But it's down there, isn't it?
Interesting. Yeah,
It's
it is.
well,
Canberra.
Yeah, look, I don't think Knights travelled all that well. So
5:30 Saturday, Dragons hosting the Manly Seagulls.
interesting game, Nicola. I'm assuming it's in the Gong.
With Manly, you just don't know what to
You
expect.
don't know what to expect.
But I think I'll lean on them this week.
I think I'll lean to Manly with no faith and no faith at all. And I wouldn't be surprised if Dragons win. I really wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Closing out Saturday night, the Panthers hosting the Sharks. That's got to be one way.
Yeah, I don't trust the Sharks. I really don't. I think they'll improve, but they're not going to beat Penrith at Penrith. No way.
Sunday afternoon, the Bulldogs with all their players back facing the Dolphins.
And
that's a winnable game, is it?
Yeah, and I think they'll win.
Yeah.
I think they'll win.
I think I'll tip the Dogs at home on this one.
I think they'll win, Nicola.
And we've got an all Queensland finale on Sunday afternoon with the Gold Coast hosting the Cowboys.
Yes, the Gold Coast will play the Cowboys, and unfortunately the bragging rights will go.
The Cowboys will roll.
The Cowboys will have the bragging rights again, and I'm sure they've probably had it for a long time now. But that will be a good. That might be. Is Tino back? No, he's 3 weeks.
No, 3 weeks, isn't it? Yeah.
Poor Tino.
Georgie, you got some tidbits for us.
I've got some tidbits.
Give us our intro, mate.
And let's see if I've got it right. Got it right.
Got it right.
Trying the chip and chase. Oh no, it's Semi Radradra.
Brother Louis.
Oh, this will be interesting. Oh, yes, it will, yes. Semi Radradra. Oh, he's absolutely buried it. Radradra.
We spoke before, Nicola, about the Challenge Cup final, and what two sensational games. And let me tell you something. I want to go and watch rugby league in England because the crowd, it's nothing like it. And I'm sure that you know because I'm sure they're similar in the soccer.
We'll just watch the EPL, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't watch the EPL. So I'm sure it's they just sing and dance and they get right into it. And Hull KR went to Wigham. Wigham, the big fancies, Nicola. Hull KR just brought over I forget his name, a young man from Penrith. First game.
Halfback you told me about, yeah.
For halfback, yeah. His first game in there. And absolutely brained them, had a sensational game. And Carl Peace-Paul, the back row for Wigan, started off the bench, Nicola.
What's his name?
Carl Peace-Paul.
Are you telling me his name is Piss-Paul?
Peace-Paul.
Piss-Paul. That's a piss-poor effort.
It's a piss-poor effort.
Okay.
What do you see him?
Sorry, couldn't help.
Started off the bench, and I thought a bit strange, but when Willie Peters put him in, masterstroke, absolutely changed the game. 10-all draw.
Wow.
10-all draw. Going to extra time, Hull KR slots a field goal. An impossible miracle. Hull KR beats the big team, and Hull KR going to Wembley. The second game, Nicola, the high-flying St Helens were playing our team, Nicola.
Yeah.
The Lee Leopards. And what a game. Physicality. St Helens first half, probably a touch better. Come the second half, Nicola, don't know where they found the strength, the power, but they just overpowered St Helens, just physically overpowered. That hooker that is coming to St George.
I thought you were talking about Joey Lussick.
No. He actually scored a try. Yeah. He scored a try, a late try. That hooker just absolutely carved
Cole
up.
Flanagan,
yeah. St Helens scored 10 points, Nicola. Lee Leopard scored 12.
Yeah.
We're getting up early at 3 o'clock in the morning watching the Challenge Cup final, Nicola. But you know what? It's a great tournament because it's like, I guess, an FA Cup. Anyone could win. It doesn't mean that.
That's the beauty of those knockout tournaments.
I don't know how it happens.
It's very different.
I don't know how it happens.
It's a different mentality.
And you know what? It was very intense. It was action packed. What can I say to you? And okay, our team Lee Leopards, they come in second. So look, you know what? We can't say that they weren't equal favourites with St Helens, but definitely Hull KR were not favourites against Wigan, because Wigan, I keep on saying it every week, I think they're the best team in the Super League. You know what I mean? So that's that, Nicola. We had NRLW start, Nicola, and
unfortunately, it was overshadowed by all the bullshit with the RLPA, right? It didn't get enough press.
It didn't get enough press. Well, there was no interviews. The games were just play. And you know what? I failed you this today, Nicola. This round is Women in League round.
No.
Yep. I should have said at the top of the show, and we're an hour and a half.
This coming weekend?
Yeah.
I wasn't even aware.
Yeah, look, there you go.
Well, we'll call it out next week, for sure.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's overshadowed by all the other stuff that's going on.
It's overshadowed.
Which is wrong.
And that's how I thought about it. What I'm going to do, Nicola, is I'm going to follow the plight of the Parramatta Eels in the NRLW.
So they got off to a great start, didn't they?
Yeah, they lost.
Wasn't it against the team in their first season?
Yes, they
Can we pick another team to follow the plight?
The Roosters, because they're stacked. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all the scores, because it's only 10 teams, so it's 5 games. The Titans, the newly formed Titans, were 16 against the Cowboys 6. A tight game. Both teams. It's their first game. See, the established women who played last year and the year before and the year before are sprinkled all through the teams, and they've brought some young women in. Now they're very athletical, and it's a good standard of rugby league for the women. It's a very good standard, but they just need 3 or 4 games to. They've only had one trial match. The Knights, which were last year's grand finalists and winners, Nicola, and equal favourites, 32 against the Dragons, 16s. The highly touted Broncos, 18 from the favourites, and they're stacked, Roosters, 36. In that game, Nicola, we had a sensational incident, of course.
The biting
Ashley Weird got sent off for biting. She claims it wasn't a bite. She bit her.
Yeah, you could see it clearly.
He bit her.
On the ground, ripping into her arm,
He bit her. She bit her. The Eels, mate, played the Tigers, and it was a close game at the start. But the Eels scored 8 and the Tigers scored 36. But the score didn't indicate the game. They've had the Tigers bought a few, let's say, seasoned players. Eels got depleted a little bit last year.
I think if I'm right, that's the third time the Tigers have beaten the Eels in 7 or 8 years. 9 years.
In what? In
total.
In total, yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
there you go.
Probably
Lap it
do
up,
it again.
Tigers fans.
Probably do it again. And the Sharks, Nicola, which are a very good team. First team, but bought very well. 28 versus the Raiders 14. It was a tight, good game.
Fitzgibbon might have to pick a couple of them.
They're very good. They're very good. What do you see, Emma Tomagata? She's very good. As we said last week, Nicola, and I'll just add to this. We're following the plot of the Matildas, and as we all know, they beat Ireland 1-0, and tomorrow they're playing Nigeria. And what I'm going to do, I've worked out, is this. When they get out of the group stage, Nick Adi will be back. I'm gonna throw it to you guys because I don't understand what I'm watching. I'm watching something,
Okay,
and I watch effort, but technically I don't understand. So they won 1-0, but I thought Ireland played better because they had more possession. They were more in their half, but I don't know.
It was a very
watching.
boring game.
Oh, you watched it?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, so it wasn't a quality. No, that's what I thought. And Ireland gave as good as they got. Yeah. So it was a 50-50 game basically. Just they scored a goal. Yeah. So that's what I thought. But
and Australia were missing obviously Sam Kerr as well,
which is a big thing, I'm sure.
The best player.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll write out next week, Australia, Nigeria. But after that, when they get out of the group, and they will get out of the group, I think I'll leave it up to you and Adi. In this section, I'll throw it to you guys. You can talk because I'm just going to gibber and I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, it's fine.
All I can see is I enjoy a contest, but I don't understand what I'm watching. And like you last, Nicola, I got a phone call late on Saturday afternoon, and our boy, Chucky's youngster, was playing around the corner from my house. The Kellyville Rhinos. So I went down to have a look, and fortunately I got to watch top of the table clash. They played Canley Vale Diggers. Look, a very good team, Nicola. A very, very large team, very big team physically all the way through. First half was 0-0, and I thought the boys had done pretty well. Back end of the second half, the Canley Vale team scored 3 tries. Just pure exhaustion from the boys. But I think I think they learnt a lesson. When I overheard in the huddle, I think they learnt a lesson. I think their coach was saying the right things. And I'm interested to see them play them again, this particular team again. I think they'll have every chance. And our boy, all I can say is he's electric.
Yeah, I've got to come watch.
So much speed.
Keep saying it.
Probably past catch, not where it should be at the moment because it's his first year playing rugby league. But ball in hand and leg speed, just electric. And they got a pretty handy 5'8" as well, which we might talk about another day, Nicola. We've got a player in focus, Nicola, to wrap us up. One of your favourite players, one of my favourite players, Bradley Clyde.
Oh, wow. My favourite lock of all time.
Yeah. He was an ACT junior, Nicola, so he's born and bred in Canberra. He made the Australian schoolboys 85 and 86, and straight away he got put into the Canberra.
He was very young.
Yeah, got put in the Canberra youngsters there, the under 23s back then, and reserve grade. 1988, so 2 years after that, and he was still young. He got graded. He got graded for Canberra, the first grade team, and as he says, he was struck sort of thing. He walks into a team with Mal Meninga, Laurie Daly, Stewart,
Belcher.
Belcher.
O'Sullivan, I think, was the
Lazarus,
5'8". Daddy was in the centres, wasn't he?
Daddy was
Early
in
on,
the centres, yeah. So he goes, I was blessed.
Did they have Bacco?
Sam Bacco, he must have been there then.
Brent Todd?
Yes, Toddy was there, yeah.
Was Brent Todd there?
Well, he would have been there. If not that year, he would have been
Yeah.
there in his book. And don't forget, his coach was
Tim Sheens.
Tim Sheens.
Yeah.
He had apparently he had the super coach, and then Sheens came in.
Wayne Bennett, yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, they co-coached, didn't they?
they co-coached
Yeah.
for 2 years or something. He had made grand finals, Nicola, 89, 91, 94, which I'm sure he won or more, didn't they?
No, they lost 91 to Penrith.
To Penrith.
They
That's
beat
right,
Penrith
that's
in
right.
90, and they beat the Bulldogs in 94.
94.
And when they lost 87, Clyde wasn't there yet. When they lost to Manly in 87. The last ever GF at the SCG.
That's the one. Yes, that's
But
the
Clyde wasn't there yet.
Okay, lovely. Did you know he had 2 Clive Churchill medals?
No.
The only other player to get 2 Clive Churchill medals is Slater.
Yeah, wow.
Just him and Slater. He played.
He played for New South Wales. He played for Australia.
12
obviously.
times for New South Wales. 178 games for Canberra and Nicola. 36 for the Dogs, and he was a welcome addition back then. And what we don't know is he played 15 games for Leeds in England.
No, I didn't know that. I don't remember
And he lost a Challenge Cup final in that season. Now, I remember Clyde as, I was going to say a workhorse, but a little bit different. He was sort of a stylish workhorse.
He was tough. Man. He was tough.
What I liked about Clyde is when they kicked, when the other team kicked, he was the first one there for the hit out or the hit up. That was something that Tim Sheens worked out. He said in his own words that I never seemed to get tired. He was just one of these guys.
He was special. He was just
never got tired.
Gifted. Like you said, he was tough as nails, but he had that slickness about him as well.
Yeah. Beautiful running action.
Great hands, great skills.
Great hands.
And I think it was he punched on with Martin Bella.
Oh, was
in
he
one of the
punch
Origins? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
beautiful. I don't remember that. What I always remember about Clydie was his slick running style and always hanging around Daly. I remember always running off Daly.
Yeah. They released a book together.
Oh, did they?
In the 90s. You've heard of Bonnie and Clyde? It's called Laurie and Clyde.
I think I got it actually.
Yeah, I've got it.
Yeah. So, look, one of our favourite players brings back warm, fuzzy feelings, Nicola.
They were still playing when they released that book.
Were they?
Yeah.
Oh, on the Kangaroo Tour. It was about the Kangaroo Tour.
Yes, yeah.
That's right. It was about the Kangaroo Tour. I loved him, and like I said, he just brought back memories for me. And he came to my club, and I was happy when he came to my club.
Him and Ricky Stewart came together.
Back end of their career, he didn't finish. I think he signed for 2 years, and he didn't finish the 2 years. He had 36 games. Straight away, they gave him an opportunity to be an administrator upstairs. So he stayed for another, I think, 10 years at the Bulldogs being an administrator.
He's a general manager now of I forget the company. I'm connected to him on LinkedIn.
Right, yeah. No, well, a very smart man. A very intelligent man. So I thought you might like that.
Yeah.
Bradley Clyde. We got, and like you last, Nicola, song of the week, and I thought I might indulge myself this week.
Not Brother Louie, is it?
No, but if I knew about it, I would have done that. I'll do that next week then, if that's the case. I'll do that next week.
Okay.
You remember, the G-Man and myself, what do we say is the best song ever made?
Oh. You guys have said that about numerous songs.
One particular song we always say.
Yes. As soon as you say it, I'm going to know it, but I can't think.
Okay. Rick Springfield, Jesse's Girl.
Oh, Jesse's Girl. Jeez, I hate that song.
Myself as Andrew.
Now
the
it's
G-Man,
stuck in my head.
The G-Man and myself as a G-up when we're around the family, we always say that Jesse's Girl from Rick Springfield is the best song ever made. So that's what you guys are going to cop now.
Yeah, poor bastards. Just quickly, George, before we do sign off, what are you looking forward to this week?
That's a good question. Obviously, rugby league to watch rugby league, and if it's a game, obviously the you still got a bye. Have the Warriors got a bye?
Yeah. For me, it's the Broncos Roosters. I'm looking forward to that one because I'm expecting something from the Roosters.
Knights Raiders.
Knights Raiders, yeah.
Knights Raiders, because I saw it. I'm going.
That's in Canberra, right?
Yeah, it's in Canberra, and people are going to throw rocks at me. I want them to continue on, and continue on playing well.
Cool bananas.
Beside that, Nicola, I think
that wraps us up.
We're all done here.
Next week, episode 50. Can you believe it?
50, and Artie's back.
And Artie's back. Yeah, lucky. Artie's back just in time. 50 episodes. That's quite a milestone.
Again, from those days where we'll huddle around, you said it before, a little
hovering
microphone
over
upstairs.
It feels like yesterday we did episode 25.
It does, actually. It does.
It's gone real quick.
And you know what? For me, it's a bit of a evolution because I was doing 2 pods with Artie, on one night and another night. It's actually tiring.
Yeah.
And I didn't bring the same content to both pods. Like, I just didn't because it's different people and different ways and Artie had run things differently there, so it was really tiring for me. And when Artie suggested let's do it all together, I didn't know if it was going to work, but it does work, and I continue to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I'll say it to him blue in the face. The biggest reason I do it is because I catch up with you.
You get to catch up, yeah.
And that's the biggest reason, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if we're giving pleasure to some people out there, that's that makes me happy as well. But the main reason is that I see the boys.
Definitely. And we've been a bit nice the past few weeks. We might need to start some controversy next week.
There's not much to. But
we'll find someone to throw shit at.
Not much to complain about.
But the good news is we will have Artie back next week.
Yes, that is good, and he can sort out this Manoli and mess and Vangeli mess. He can sort all that out.
I'm looking forward to hearing all the stories.
I'm sure he'll tell us about all the Sasha the Uber driver, and hopefully he'll bring us back a around the grounds guy.
Yes, definitely. All right, guys. Well, that's it. That wraps us up for tonight. I had a great time. Hope you did. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
Happy rugby league, everybody.
Good night.